I play the same song over and over every night. I wanted to be in radio, and that continued since 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. My parents would say, what do you want to do? And I want to be in radio. When I grow up, that's what I want to do. I want to be a DJ. I want to be in radio. Shit, you guys supposed to drink. You guys doing it or what? Come on, get shit-faced with me. We're not filming this, are we? I didn't sign a waiver. So anyway, like I wanted to be a DJ, you know, 12, 13, you want to be a DJ, great, that's great, you go ahead and pursue your dreams. 14, that's great, you want to be a DJ. Parents are like, 15, you want to be a DJ, good, you do that, that's excellent. I'm 16 now, I want to be a DJ. No, you don't. What do you mean I don't want to be a DJ? You want to go to this college, you want to major in this law or be a doctor, and you want to take these civil service tests as a backup in case you're not that bright. Which I'm not. That caused a lot of friction. You know, I grew up in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, where they filmed that movie, Saturday Night Fever. Brooklyn! You know, and you can't get a start growing up in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, or Canarsie, because the closest radio station, at least back then, was the ones that were in Manhattan. So what I would do is I would call the local DJs on the radio station and say, hello, I'm a listener, how you doing? I want to get into radio, and I was asking your advice on how to get into this. One of the jocks in particular who I really liked, his name is Jay Thomas, who you guys might have heard of. Used to be on the original WXLO when it was in New York, 99. Say it, Rick. WXLO, rocking the Apple in stereo. That's one of Rick's lines. And I call Jay Thomas and say, excuse me, what do I do? I'd like to get the radio. I don't really know how to do this. And he'd say, fuck you. And he'd hang up on me. And I'd call him back and go, I want to be in radio. Can you help me? I don't know what to do. You're not going to be in radio. Why? Why? Because you're a fucking asshole. Slam the phone on me again. Which made it a really interesting conversation like 20 years later when I became his boss's boss at Sirius. I reminded him of that several times. This isn't my regular voice, by the way. Not my regular name either. You probably guessed that. I'm articulating right now, for you. You know, here I noticed out this area, there's a lot of people that speak clearly here. Where I grew up, you don't speak clearly, you kind of do the Brooklyn mumble. You know, if you articulate where I grew up, and Stanley T, in the house, Stanley T in the house, where we grew up, you don't speak clearly, because you get your ass kicked if you do. You know, you don't look people in the eyes, you don't ask what time it is, because they'll fucking tell you what time it is. That's what time it is. Don't ever ask anybody what time it is in Canarsie, Brooklyn, or Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. They'll tell you, and first they'll ask you if they look like Big fucking Ben, and then they'll tell you. So, here I am trying to get into radio. Do I have to say Z89 radio to get you fuckers to drink? What? So here I am trying to get into... Alright, good. And I don't know how, quite honestly. It's quite frustrating. I'm pissed. I'm starting to fail all my classes. I'm starting to be filled with teenage angst. You know, I was always a fun kind of a dude, like a Bart Simpson character. I never really did well in school except for science, for some reason. And, yeah, that was it, science. I cut class very well. And I'm asked to write a paper by Mrs. Allison, who I'll never forget, who happened to actually also be the guidance counselor. And I wrote a paper that said I would like to do this if I'm ever able to do it. And again, I was quiet. I would throw paper airplanes, shoot spitballs, you know, at the beginning of the year. But by the end of the year, when I was about to graduate, I didn't know how to get into what I wanted to do, and it was hard. You know, I didn't know how. I didn't know that I had to then, at least, move around the country to get a start in radio. Now it's a little bit easier, although it's difficult because the jobs are far and few. But, you know, back then, you know, I didn't know what to do. Sorry. Feeding time. Whip it out, we won't look. So I write this letter, and my English teacher, who again happened to be the school guidance counselor, reads it and was like, oh my gosh, why didn't you say that you wanted to do this? And I was like, I didn't know that you'd care. You know, I don't know. She goes, hang on. She grabs me and pulls me down out of the class, literally by my coattail, and drags me into the guidance counselor's class. Usually it was the principal's office, but, you know, right past into the guidance counselor, and she goes, hang on, there's a station here that's, and she starts fuffling, you know, fumbling through papers and stuff. And she's like, there's a station in Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn, that has a radio station on the air. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be on a corded thing to the cafeteria. You know, is it a real radio station? 10-watt mono FM radio station. I was like, but it's on the air. I'm there. I literally did have to graduate high school by the skin of my chinny chin chin. My father promised me the car. I got a 66 average to get the hell out so I could get to that college. So I could get on the air and start figuring out how to get into the swinging world of radio. So I didn't hear the question, what's that? You getting worn out? Am I going too long? Oh, radio! Sorry. Drink away. So my dad promised me a car, so I graduate with a 66 average so I can drive to the college radio station. I get there, and I can't get a job at the fucking college radio station. So, I kind of hang out there a little bit, get to know Stanley T. Evans over there. Stanley T. in the house. He's like, yo, man, you look sad. It's like, I think I want to work here, but I don't know, man. There's a bunch of ass clowns running around this place. What is this? This is supposed to be a radio station. He said, don't worry, man, I'll hook you up. So he hooks me up and gets me a part-time job on the air at the college radio station right there. I show up at the college radio station for the next week or two, and I'm, you know, attending painful classes, which I couldn't really stand. I was like, I just want to be a DJ. Why do I have to take, like, algebra? Like, what is this crap? Finally, the faculty advisor, I finally get to meet him. And I'm reading a trade publication, which ironically I wound up working for like 20 years later. And I say, position sought. I go, it says position sought. It's a job for like the overnight station, for the overnight show in Manchester, New Hampshire. Manchester in the house. How do I, what does T and R mean? I'm like, no, it's not what you think. I'm like, T and R, what does that mean? He goes, tape and resume. I'm like, tape and resume? Not D and R? Degree and resume? Nope, T and resume. You don't need a degree to get a radio. Are you fucking kidding me? The next day I stopped going to classes. Started hanging out at the college radio station, waiting for one of the folks who didn't take it seriously not to show up so I can be there to do their show. I would do that every day. I would spend I think the station signed on at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I think it signed off at like 2 in the morning or something like that. 4? Sorry. And that's what I do, and I would do as many shows as I could, and I would tape them. Back then you recorded on tape, cassettes, and I would tape a show and send it out to as many radio stations as I could where I can get a job. My first job I got, you know, probably somewhere around the 6-month thing. in Willimantic, Connecticut,